How you doing? I am here. I am today. It's Friday. It is February. Oh, I don't know. February 5th, 6th. Okay, we'll cut that. Today it is a February morning. I am following a request I got from someone who viewed my last video, and where I was doing like a quilted, like a landscape quilt, and they asked for a button be put on a shirt, and I could do that. That's pretty easy, and it's an instance where everybody would be it's a good idea to get a small sewing kit. They're in grocery stores, drugstores. You can get them anywhere. But it has a small needle, a few spools of thread. Yeah, it might have little scissors, not usually, but scissors are everybody has scissors. So we're gonna put a button on a shirt today. And this is a request from one of the people who viewed my last video, a good friend who I can't deny anything to, and you know you are. And I'm going to put a button back on a shirt today. So it was requested by a viewer, and I'm happy to do that today. And what you'll need is a thread, a needle, listen to me, a needle that's small enough to go in your button. Now, your button, I'm sure, came off the shirt. If you're doing a different button, white buttons or, white clear buttons, tiny buttons like our own shirts, they're everywhere. If you go to Walmart, they have a good sewing aisle. You can get yourself a pack of buttons if you need to replace a button. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to have the button, we're going to have a needle, and this you can probably see, it's just a regular sewing needle. Some thread. I'm going to use some, I like Gutermann. It's like my preferred thread, but any thread, it's just a button. And of course the shirt. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some pins, and I'm going to make a bullseye where I want the button to go. There you go, right there. And then, well, I gotta thread my needle. Now, when you thread your needle, don't go too far because it'll just tangle. And when you're doing a button, it's a little bit fiddly to begin with. Kind of you're going in little holes and you're making loops. So you don't want, you don't want to go out, the length of your arm and then some on your thread. You just want maybe a foot long thread. Like this. And then thread your needle. I'm gonna get my glasses on for this because I can't see doodly squat anymore. Oh my goodness, do not get old. Okay, gonna thread the needle. And I tend to have needles with big eyes in them. They also have needles where you don't have, where you have the easy thread needles where they don't have like whole eyes. They have like it's more like a big C or a G, where they have a little slot where you can put the thread up into. You don't have to thread the needle. You can just kind of slide it in. It's a plus. And then you make a little knot at the end. I double mine. Some people don't. I like to double my thread and put a knot at the end. And then I cut off the tail so you don't have this long tail sit down. Okay, now I've made my bullseye with 2 pins. Now here's the hanger. Now here's the shirt. And here's the button. Now I took the button off for this one because I'm just going to put it right back on. Can you see that right there? There you go. There. And that is exactly where, right in between those two, that bullseye is where you're going to insert your needle first. Right in between. On the inside of the shirt, you're going to take it, and you're going to. I'm doing this kind of weird because I want you to see it. You're going to insert your needle right in between that bullseye, like right and then just pull it up. The knot will catch. And then you would want to do this over like your knee or something. I'm doing it kind of freehand because I want you to see it. And then you take your button. Where do I put my button? Take your button, put it on your needle, put it right side up, put it on your needle in one of the holes. Put it on your needle in one of the holes. And you've got your button. You want to hold it underneath with these fingers. Hold it on top with your thumb. You've got your button right in the middle. I need a camera overhead. Got your button right in the middle. Get it nice and tight on there. I'm sorry. He asked for an easy way to do this. Okay, got your button. You put your thumb on the button. Go into another hole. And go back in. Go back into the inside of the shirt. And then that will hold that down. And you should, after that, have it nice and held in position. And it'll stay in position for you. Now, your thread, you don't want your thread to kind of loop at the back side, which has happened. Now your thread will, now here's what happens. Now my thread looped at the back, kind of knotted, looped at the back. So what I'm going to do is leave it. You don't need that much thread for a button. I'm going to leave it, knot it at the end, and leave it there. And or not leave it there, but cut it off. And then you go in through one of the other holes of the button, and then you come out. I wish you were seeing this a little better. I'm sorry. And then you just go into each of the holes in turn, pull it out, go back in, and then you just go each hole in turn, go around. You can crisscross. You can go in a 4 square. However it pleases you. It's very open-ended. As long as you get it in there nice and secure, you can do it any way you want. And then when you've got your button secure, I take out your pins, your cross pins. Take that out. Make sure your button's nice and tight. Give it a few more go-throughs in through the holes. All right. And then you've got some loops and things. You got a little bit of loops on the inside. You got a little bit of mess. But what you can do is just, you want to make a loop. Put your oh goodness. Okay, you have your string, you have your thread. Make a loop with your hands. Bring your needle through it. Make a knot. And what you can do also is you can kind of go into your material. Just one more anchor stitch, just to keep it all together. And then make a loop. And then however you need to, like putting the needle's a little long that I'm using, so I'm having trouble making a loop, making a knot with the needle. So I'm going to cut the needle off. I've got all the threads here, and I'm just going to make a knot around my finger. All right, and then you just cut off the excess. Cut off the excess thread. Got your knot. Cut it as close without cutting your knot. Trim it down, but it's on the inside, so if it's a little messy, it's okay. You know, you're repairing a button. It's just a simple repair job. So here, let me take my glasses. So you know, that's how you repair a button. It's a little messy. My technique wasn't perfect, but you know, it's like a real person putting on a button. You know, sometimes I watch people who are expert at what they do, and they're amazing to watch, but you don't always get a sense. Let me say this: they do it so perfectly that when you go to do it and you make mistakes, as you're going to when you first do something, you think you've failed. Yeah, at least that's how I feel all the time. So you know, you see somebody do it imperfectly, and like, okay. So that's how you put on a new button. That is a little bit of instruction. I'm gonna tell you what I'm working on. I am working on. Shh! Don't tell anybody. I'm making for somebody close to me. I'm not gonna say who. A quilted hug for some very special people that I have in my life, and I'm going to make this. It's a like a shawl that kind of has some Velcro. I might do something other than Velcro, but it kind of goes over your shoulders and Velcros down the front, and it's like you can line it with either fleece, like sweatshirt fleece, or like a polar fleece, or Sherpa, which is what I'm lining mine with, and you can quilt the outside. So you've got this big expanse of quilt, this kind of rectangle thing that you can quilt in any way you want to, and it's something nice and warm that goes over your shoulders, or you can wear it as a lap quilt. You know, just open it up and put it as you can do whatever you want. It's yours. And that's what I'm working on now, and I'm doing it in a denim. This is a pretty thick denim, and it's a big project. This is going to be all quilted, and well, not all quilted, but it's going to have applique on it, and some maybe some thread painting, and then on the inside it'll be like a quilt sandwich. You'll have fleece, and then polar fleece, not polar fleece. I'm sorry, Sherpa fleece. Then I'm going to put it on the inside. You know, for these particular people that I'm making it for, I'm using an expensive Sherpa fleece. But for, you know, I'm sorry, for anybody else, I would put just sweatshirt fleece on there, because it would be more for inside. These people are going to be wearing it outside, so I want an extra layer of warmth there. So it's going to be pretty thick. I hope it's not crazy thick. But it's a real easy pattern. It's just a rectangle that you make some cuts like this, and you just make it into this right here. Can you see that? That's the shape. See, you know, and it's just like a big, almost like a handkerchief. So yeah, it'll be great. I'm excited. I really am. I am now. Excuse me. It's so cold outside, and we're supposed to get a big like cold snap tomorrow. Like in the single digit number, which really is out of the ordinary for New Jersey. We don't get that cold, that kind of cold. We get snaps like that, but it doesn't last long. And you know, we're due for a nice warm day, frankly, because we have snow up to our windows. When they plowed the roads, there was so much snow they had to come up on the grass and just pile it up. So you look out and you just see this ledge of snow all around where they had to clear the road. So in front of our house, it's all like right up to our windows, the middle of our windows. So, you know, no going out. And so I'm going to be in here sewing. and making some things for some special people, and just, enjoying my space, which is what someone should be doing for people. It should be fun. Don't make yourself nuts. Even if you're making something special, it's the joy that you give the person when you give them something. It's not the precise, every stitch is perfect thing. That's not hobby. That's work. And I'm sure everybody has work that they have to do that is really exacting. And at home, even in quilting, you have to be precise in order to get what you want. In sewing, you got a lot of leeway. So thank you so much for coming and checking in with me and seeing what I'm doing on a Friday. Friday Sews, very nice. I like it. Hope, please, everybody leave a comment and please subscribe. That would be great. And I would love to hear your criticism of my button doing. I mean, I'm sure, ma'am, stop what you're doing and let me show you how to do a button. I'm sure I'm going to get, comments like that. But if you're in a bind and you just need a button, you got to go to work, then you get a button on a shirt. And have a little sewing kit, no matter who you are, guys, single girls, teenagers, have a sewing kit. It's, just a little thing to fit in your bathroom cabinet or, whatever. But it's always a good thing to have because, you gotta fix things. And alterations can be expensive. Hems and, just simple buttons, $5 a button. If all your buttons fell off, that's, $25. Just to put buttons back on a shirt when you could do that, watching TV. So it's a couple of basic things. It might be a good idea to learn. So if I have helped you in any way, if I have inspired you to sew a little bit, I don't know. But